got some people in this parking lot that say, I'm a survivor. I survived hell. I survived loss. I survived brokenness. I survived a divorce. I survived all kind of stuff. I'm a survivor.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Bishop Ray Taylor. How is everyone doing? Greetings. Come on, y'all. Come on in the room. Excuse me. Come on in the room. YouTube, Facebook. Let's go. Do me a favor. Hit the share button. Sharing don't cost you nothing, y'all. Sharing is caring. I miss everybody, but guess what? We had some phenomenal people that were on here. I'm going to send some shout outs, but while you guys are coming in, welcome again to NCCF Midweek Empowerment Podcast. It's your boy, Bishop Ray Taylor. Missed everybody. Took some time off, but I have a phenomenal superstar championship team that was able to step up to the plate. Shout out to none other than, y'all know who he is. They call him Kev, Brother Kavan, for stepping in, doing a phenomenal interview with none other than Pastor Ronell Waples, man. They talked about some dope stuff. Kavan, you know, y'all know he's a comedian. He kept saying Pastor Ron had everybody laughing, but it was a phenomenal interview. We learned some things about Pastor Ronell that probably a lot of you guys didn't know. So he shared his experience and it was awesome. And then last week we had none other than the queen, the prophetess, my wife, Pastor D, and everybody was looking for an encore. Unfortunately, tonight, she wasn't able to come on because of another commitment. But guess what? She's coming back on, y'all. She's coming back on. So we're going to get her back on to finish telling her story. And Kavan did a great job with that. So listen, I thank God for my team. I just got to say that. Shout out to the team. Shout out. They know who they are. Shout out to our media team. Shout out to the individuals that make it happen behind the scenes. Good evening to everybody that's coming in. Listen, I need everybody to share. Please share this podcast. If you're on right now, I need you to share it. If you're on YouTube, I need you to take the link, copy it, and send it to about 25 people in the group text and tell them to come on into this podcast. We got a special guest. I didn't want to put their picture on there tonight because I want them to be a special guest. They're not a stranger to the big stage, but I want them to be a special guest. But before we bring them on, again, I want to send a special shout out to these individuals that helped to morph and bring this podcast into existence. Again, a special shout out to Pastor Ronell. I call him a junior engineer because he's learning from Kavan. Kavan is the master engineer behind the scenes. A lot of great people. I see people coming on. I see you. Come on, y'all. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Shout out to Deacon Edie, the lights staging guy. Shannon Fletcher, light staging guy. And also Corey Burke, who is one of the best photographers. I know some great photographers, but he has turned our NCCF photography into a whole nother thing. I mean, this boy is dope. He's doing some phenomenal work for the kingdom, and we are grateful for these gifts. And as leaders, we need to acknowledge these gifts in the kingdom. My media team is phenomenal. They are explosive, and they are tight, and they keep me tight and right. So I just wanted to send a shout out to these individuals for making the NCCF podcast what it is, because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for these phenomenal people. So again, we thank everybody. And like I said, I don't have a problem sharing the platform with phenomenal people, because ministry should be able to run without the pastor or the bishop always being the one being in front of the camera. It always kind of remind me what Suge Knight said, y'all, that my team laughs at me, but Suge said something. Suge might have been crazy, but Suge did say something. He said, if you want to come on a dope record or come on with some dope artists and want to be where the manager or the producer is not always in the video, he was throwing some shade. He said, then come on over here to Death Row Records, right? So, but the point that he was making was being able to share in being able to share the platform, being able to share in the glory, being able to share in a winning formula. And at NCCF, everybody knows that we teach and preach a winning, championship-minded culture where it's not just dominated by myself or Pastor Donna, but it's dominated by many people who bring many gifts to the kingdom. So again, hand clap for my team that makes this podcast amazing, and for all of you who are joining and getting high quality. And I'm going to say this, and then we're going to bring our guests in. I believe that we have the dopest commercial. That commercial, when y'all hear that, that thing is dope. Shout out to I Can Rock Entertainment for putting that together, y'all. We're not playing. We're here to dominate. We're not playing. No, we're not here to try to, say that our podcast is better than the next man. No, we're operating in the space that God has given us, and we're giving God glory. And I'm saying thank God for our team, because teamwork, put that in there for me, team. Put that in there, you're on the caption. Say teamwork makes the dream work. Put that in there for me. For my engineers, put that in there, y'all. Put that across the caption. Say teamwork. Somebody needs to catch that tonight. You can't win championships without a team. We teach and preach that. Teamwork makes the dream work. Put that in there for me, y'all. Teamwork makes the dream work. Because again, you cannot build anything successful or sustainable without a team. Tonight, somebody shout, tonight. We've been talking about a lot of different things. We had a lot of dope people coming on here. The Pastor Ricks, the Pastor Sean Lees, the Lala, the Evangelist Lala's, the Minister Brandon's, the Pastor Barksdale's, my wife, the Pastor Ronell's, even Kavan, doing the podcast. And as I said, and I said before, I learned from people like him. There's different people I learned from. Him, D. Reed, who has a podcast, other people. I listen to podcasts. Jocko Willicks, John Maxwell's, Kevin Cruz's. I listen to these people. Bishop Donald Ashley, bless you, sir. Can y'all give a hand clap? Bishop Donald Ashley is listening all the way from Dover, Delaware. Greater Life. He is a powerful man. That boy, not only can he preach, he can sing. When you got people like that coming on, you got to pay homage, man. These people are extraordinary people in ministry. So thank God for him taking the time to come on, because he has a Bible study that he does. So for him to be on, man, I thank God for this brother. So listen, tonight we have somebody phenomenal, our very own. She's going to come on. It is Kavan's wife, Kalisha Turman. She came on before. She's going to drop some gems tonight, y'all. Y'all don't want to miss this. Go get your family. Go get your sons and daughters. My people, my kids need to be on here listening, because she going to drop some stuff. And if you don't catch these gems that she going to drop, I don't know what else to tell you. Without further ado, bring her on, y'all. The beautiful. Look at her. There she is. Woo. Look, I don't have my hand clap thing tonight, so they don't like me. So I should have brought her from the church, and I should have pressed the button, but
that's why we clap around here. We give it up for ourselves, right?
That's right. We clap. My wife, listen, Sister Kalisha, my wife can't stand that thing. But it's all right. It is well with my soul. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The last time we had you was what, November, and you was dropping gem. Bless your brother Aaron. Bless your sister Chavez. All these dope men and women of God. She's powerful. Her and her husband. Tell your husband to get on here and listen to what's going on. Tell your husband, Apostle Walker, that we love him, and get on in here and check us out. But listen, we love you. We appreciate the gifts that's in the house, and you're going to drop some gems tonight. So we're going to go right to it. Okay.
Awesome.
But before we do, go ahead. You go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was just about to say. So what are we talking about, right? We're talking about some things to keep us motivated, some things to keep us encouraged and inspired as we go into the summer months, right? As we're going into this new space, we know that the world is about to open back up again. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do, right? Our anxiety is on 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's been masked up for over a year, and now it's like, wait a minute, you want us to take these masks off? What are we doing here, right? So we're just trying to figure it out. And so that's what I'm here to just kind of talk us through giving us some tools and some tips on how to manage a little bit of that anxiety that we may be feeling going back into the world. Just talking about how we can kind of keep ourselves settled, how we can just be recommitted to having a better life and being our better selves. So that's what we're talking about this evening. And how do we do that? How do we commit to ourselves, right? Because we tend to commit to everybody else. We can do everything else, right? I can commit to, if I know I'm doing something for my kids, if I'm doing something for my husband, but what commitments do I owe me? And how do I sustain those, right? Because it's easy to put it off until tomorrow for me. It's like, I could wait. I don't really have to be committed to that thing because maybe for me, it's not as important for myself. But if I'm doing it for my kids, now I really got to do it. If I'm doing it for my husband, I really got to do it. So how do we take everything that's going on and how do we make sure that our well-being is sustained in these times where the world is still like, all over the place for us, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about this evening.
Listen, you came out explosive. You came out with I think you got about 17 bullets in the clip in the magazine. And you just, and your thing was like, pap, 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 pap. And I'm just sitting back like, oh. Listen, you are going hard. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you need to get in right now because once she start talking, I'm just going to fall back and I'm going to navigate and let her go because she got some stuff in her belly. Yeah, and she don't want me to go get my wife and let Lady Donna come on here because then the whole thing going to be shut down. But we're going to be disciplined tonight, okay? But listen, I want you to tell us your experience. And ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful young lady is experienced in mental health awareness. We all know what happened in November. She shut it down. She set the segue. So when Serena came on, Serena just kind of took it to another level, but she laid a perfect foundation. But tonight she's dropping gems. Y'all better get your notepads and pens out and start writing because when she speaks, it's like E.F. Hutton, you better listen. So let me fire this first question off and let's unpack this.
Awesome.
As your husband says, let's unpack this. I'm stealing his word, right? How can we maintain, Sister Kalisha, and learn how to have an attitude of gratitude for where we are? You just said it. We got, COVID, the world. So Philly's opening up in June 11th. Governor Carney is taking restrictions off. You still got to wear masks indoors. May 21st, everything is now starting to open, right? So you talk about attitude of gratitude, where we are, and allowing God to see another day. What are some of the mental steps? And this is where your expertise comes in, of course, with the Holy Spirit. But tell us, teach us, what are steps that we need to take as the world begins to open up?
So one of the things that we have to do is, number one, you have to know where you are, right? Because we all can kind of feel when we're off balance. We all can kind of tell when, we just don't feel our best or when we're not in a good space. Sometimes we call that, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You know what I mean? And so it's really good to be in tune with who you are, with how you move and how you shake. Like that's really important with what changes your attitude, with what those triggers are. Remember, we got to pay attention to our triggers. We got to know what gets us moving, what motivates us. We got to know what sets us off. Because then once we understand that, then we kind of know a little bit about how we move and can say, all right, maybe this isn't the right situation for me. I think when you look at a lot of things that's been happening in the world, when we think about a lot of negative things, it's really easy, like on social media, to get caught up in this negative video and that negative video, and this thing is going on. And sometimes you have to disconnect from those things. Like sometimes it's important to say, you know what, I can't even watch that, and it's okay. I can't put myself in a space where I know it's going to shoot my emotions up, and it's going to take me to another level. I think sometimes we just want to see, right? We want to know what's happening. We're just nosy by nature, right? What's going on? It's like the people that have their blinds closed and you kind of peeking out the window, like, well, what's going on out there? Sometimes it's good to just not even look. Like, don't open the link. Don't check it out. Sometimes you have to tap out. It's like that. You got to know when to tap out. It's not time to go back in there, because that's going to be important for how you keep yourself at a consistent baseline. Like we're looking for our baseline. We're looking to stay at this one place where it's like, all right, this is our baseline. We're good. We can kind of move at this pace. It's also really good to be intentional about those things that make us happy, Happiness is a fleeting emotion. It doesn't always stay. One day, Monday, we might be happy. Tuesday, we might not be so happy, right? But being intentional, waking up saying, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to say my prayers. I need to read some affirmations. I need to do some things that's going to connect me and tap into my spirit so I can be in a good space. If I know, I got a little bit of road rage, Bishop, don't judge me. Just a little bit, right? And so when I used to have to take the drive back and forth to Philly to go to work, I would be like, all right, let me turn my gospel on. Let me say my prayer before I got in the car. So it put me in a different mindset. So as I'm driving, I'm not so upset. I'm not so snappy. Sometimes we have to just be overly intentional. I would keep a little scripture in the car because that would settle me, as opposed to not having that. And then I'm ready to snap out as soon as somebody cuts me off. You got to really take those steps to try to bring about that happiness on a day-to-day basis. Because I tell you, once you shift your mindset and you're more intentional, that you have a lot of better days because you're more intentional. So if you put in your mind, I am going to be happy today. I am not going to let the drama bother me. I am not going to let these things take me and shake me to the core. When you're really intentional about those things, even when stuff comes, because it doesn't mean nothing's going to happen, but when they come, you're better able to manage it because you've already set up the foundation for yourself. You're like, I'm not going to deal with it today. I'm not going to allow these things to shake me to the core. And so because of that, the way that you respond and the way that you react is so much different. Sometimes we got to plan for these things. Like, you have to know there's certain spaces I just can't go into because it's not going to be good for me, right? It's just not going to be good. So I need to just go ahead and stay out. I don't need to go and be with Aunt Bessie. If Aunt Bessie always got something to say and Aunt Bessie is going to say something negative, I don't need to be bothered with Aunt Bessie today. I don't need to be bothered with those friends that are always constantly negative or nagging. Sometimes we have those Debbie Downers. I can't deal. And it's okay because you have to be, intentional about protecting your space and protecting your energy. That's important. What I did recently was I went, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. They have an app. There's an app called I Am. Right. And this app gives you daily affirmations, and you can get them 2, 3, 4 times a day that come to you. And it says things like, I am worthy. I am loved. I have friends. My family loves me. It has all types of things, and it just spits them out to you, at different times of the day. And it's like, sometimes you just need to stop and be quiet and take it in, and just repeat it and get that into your spirit. Like, you know what? I am worthy. I am valued. I am loved. So whatever you're going through, if you have that mindset, it's like, okay, I can deal with this situation. I can be in a better space. They even have these cards. I got these cards from Five Below, right? And I was surprised. I create the life I dream of.
That's good.
I am capable. I am powerful and fearless. It's a card that you can read every day. And on the back, it says, I am most proud of. And it's a little space for you to write, and for you to do a little journal activity. And it's like, there's little things that you can do where we can be more intentional about how we approach every day. Because the reality is, the only constant that we're going to have is change. Things are going to happen, but if we can continue to just work on how we think about those, we can be better equipped to address those. Think about being positive. You hate your job. Guess what? You're not the only one. Join the club. A lot of people hate their job. Well, here you go. I don't like my job, but thank God I have a job and my bills are paid. I may not live in a mansion, but thank God I have a roof over my head. I may not drive the best car, but my God, it gets me from point A to point B, and I can still keep moving. I may not make a gourmet meal, but I can put something on the table and my family can eat.
Come on now.
You have to find things, little things that say, I am grateful and I am thankful for these things. Stop looking at all the things you don't have, because comparing things and, that, what do they say? That's the thief of joy. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. sometimes we can't look at all those things that we don't have. We got to start looking at the things that we do have, because if you look at those things, you'll find that you have a lot more to be grateful for and thankful for. And so those are some of the steps that we can start to take to kind of get into a better space. But it starts with that changing and shifting of your mindset in order to get you to that more positive space.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's not playing. I told y'all need to get in here. Y'all need to get in here. Y'all need to send this link out. Y'all need to share it. Y'all need to tell folk Kalisha Turman is on. This girl is on fire. Listen, you said something right, and you know me. I start nitpicking different things that you're saying. There's two things that you said that I want us to go a little bit more deeper. The first thing that you talked about was the importance of protecting your energy. I seen a post on Facebook. My son Jaquan put some out there. I was like, you know what, Jaquan, that's good. Jaquan said people will mistake you for being mean, rude, or not wanting to fool with them when you are intentional about protecting your energy. I said, you know what, Jaquan, that's good right there. So basically what he was saying was, you know, people say, well, what's wrong with Chip? He basically was saying that it's nothing wrong with me. It's just that I'm working hard to protect my energy. And if I see you bringing an energy that's not matching the energy that I have, then I'm going to kind of come off that way, because the energy that you have is not the energy I have. And I'm going to do anything, like Malcolm X, by any means necessary to protect my energy. Can you talk about the importance of protecting that energy and not worrying about what people think if people are bringing negative energy when you're in a good space?
Absolutely. There's something called countertransference, right? For people's energy, when you're in a room with somebody and in a space, they can transform their energy onto you, right? I would find when I would have family members or clients that had depression, and sometimes I would be in a space with them. Sometimes it was so hard where I would have to go and pray it up, because otherwise I would leave out like, oh man, you know, if I didn't. So that is a very real thing where people can actually transfer some of that energy if you're not careful. It can happen in a room with your friends where you go in and you could be on a high and you're like, yes, and I'm so excited. And then you talk to somebody and they just suck the life out of you, right? So you have to be persistent and positive about protecting your energy and protecting your peace. It is very important, and it's not selfish. And that's the thing that we have to learn, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm being selfish if I don't want to be bothered, or I'm being selfish. You know, it's not about being selfish. It is really about being intentional about where you are and saying, I am in a certain space and I want to stay in that space.
That's good.
You know, and being around other people who kind of match that energy. That's important. Finding you some people that it's almost like even in being successful, right? When you want to be successful, you don't want people on your same level. You want people that's a little bit above you, right? Because if they love you, then they can teach you something so that they can help you grow and they can push you and you can be propelled to the next level. But if everybody is here at the same level or beneath you, you're not moving nowhere. So we're all stagnant together. I can't push you if we're both on the same track here, we're not doing anything. So it's not selfish to want to be able to protect your energy and to want to be able to move forward and to be around people who's going to build you. It's about uplifting. It's about encouraging. It's about loving. And that's where I am these days. If what you say isn't uplifting, if it's not encouraging, if it's not loving, then I don't have time for it. Right? Because I'm running this race. I'm on this path of healing. So I can't afford to have people around me that aren't building me up. I can't afford to have people around me that aren't uplifting me. I can't afford to have people who are not loving, who are not connecting with me in that way, because I can't afford to be brought back. I'm not going backwards. I'm going forward. So in order to move forward, we all got to be running the same path. Otherwise, something's going wrong here. We all going to be all over the place, and we can't have that happening. So you have to protect your energy. You have to protect your space. You can't allow people to, just be all over the place and have you and drag you down, because people will drag.
Say that again. Say it again.
Down. People will drag you down. Misery loves company. That is very true. And sometimes it's not even consciously, right? Sometimes it's not even a conscious thing. It's if I'm so upset, and you can take the job thing, for instance. If I'm so upset about this job and I don't like my job, I'm going to pull you in and I'm going to talk to you about my job, and I can't see anything well in this job. So if you come and you have something positive going on and something good is going on in the job, I'm going to drag you back, because how could you be excited about that? I'm upset. So you got to stay upset with me. So every chance I get, I'm going to snatch you back. It happens. It's unconscious. But guess what? You got to say, no, let me go in my office. There come, Sister Sally here. She come with her mess. Let me go the other way.
That's right. That's right.
Let me protect myself. Let me protect my space. I can't allow her to pull me back. I can't allow her to bring me down. And unfortunately, you have to do it with friends. You have to do it with family members. My husband will tell you, I'm the queen. My block game is strong. I believe in the block ministry, Bishop. Okay.
Yo, put that in the thing. The block ministry.
The
y'all
block
put that in there.
Ministry. You hear me?
Put that in there, y'all. Block ministry.
I believe in the block ministry. So if you're not going where I'm going, and if you're dragging, if your energy is negative, listen, block them. That's what I block them. My finger. This is what my fingers do. Block them. Like, I believe in that. I don't even want to see what you're writing. I don't even want to be bothered. I don't even want to be. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I don't need to have a glimpse. I don't even want to deal. Because that's how intentional I am about protecting my peace. I don't have time for it. So I just block them. Nope.
So listen. So what you telling me is that Kavon said nobody is
exempt.
So that includes him?
That includes family, friends. Block them.
So if he gets out of pocket and his energy is off, you'll block him and then tell him to get his energy right, and then you'll open the portal back up. Is that? Oh my God! Let me move on, because he's gonna text me afterwards. But anyway, on to the next question.
He will.
Yeah, he gonna say Bishop. But anyway, the next thing is, you talked about journaling. Connect journaling with my mental health, because I used to journal. I need you to encourage me.
Yes.
I used to journal.
Yes.
And I don't journal anymore.
Yes.
Tell me how benefiting that is to journal to help me to build my mental health.
There's something powerful about, sometimes we're all up here, right? And our thoughts are all up here, and everything we have going on is right up in here. And so sometimes it's good for us to be able to bring it out and put pen to paper, and get it out. It's such a clearing thing for us to be able to get it out of our head and put it on paper, get our thoughts out, because sometimes our thoughts are up here and we can be irrational, we can be emotional, and it's all clouded up here where we can't even think clearly. And so with the journaling exercises, you really get the chance to process it and write it down and go over it, and really put pen to paper and kind of clear out what's all in your head. And in clearing that out, it's another way of processing the information, because you see it on paper. It's different. Or if you can't put it on paper, you can put it in, people have notes in their phone. And it also gives you a chance, because we're so busy running around. We go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, right? One thing to the next thing. It makes you sit and focus and be in the moment and clear it out, and sometimes we don't spend enough time in that peace and in that quiet and getting it out and thinking about it. And a lot of times we don't even get a chance to fully process one thing before we go to the next. We have so much going on. So it's like, I don't even deal with this before I have that going on. And that's what you see. You see a lot of times when people are responding to something that happened, it's not that thing that's going on right now. It's the three things that happened before that I never really dealt with before. And now it's coming back up. Why? Because I never dealt with it before. So now even in the journaling, it gives you a chance to process. It gives you a chance to work through. We tend to run from those things that are uncomfortable. And so a lot of times, because we run from it, we never heal from it. And so this gives us a chance to really look at it, really dissect it, really reflect on it, and start to really move in that direction, heal, get it out of us, clear our head. It gives you some more space. If you don't do it, it's almost like this balloon. What happens when you keep putting air in a balloon and you keep putting air in a balloon and you keep putting air in a balloon? Eventually it's going to pop because you never let the air out, right? It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So at some point, you got to sit there and you got to let some out. You got to give yourself some room. You got to give yourself some headspace. Otherwise, you're all over the place. And it manifests itself in so many ways. You find yourself making 900 lists, 900 task lists, and you get 2 things done off the task list. Like you can't even, get everything done. You're all over the place. You're going from here to here to here. It's so much going on. And so you got to take the time to sit down and really focus and get stuff out and process and work through. This is a season of working through, of really healing from some things, not running, but healing from these things, dealing with them so that you can move on and be in a better space, have an empty plate and be refreshed and be able to deal with the rest of the stuff that's going to come. Because stuff is coming. It's just how full is your plate. You can't pile, a steak already on top of the 6 pieces you already have. At some point you got to clear something off the plate so you have room to put something else on it. So, and when you can't do that, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed out. And that leads to all sorts of health issues. That leads to all sorts of problems. And you don't want that. You don't want that. So you got to heal from it. You got to work through it. So that's where we are. That's what
ladies and gentlemen, this woman is on fire tonight, y'all. The chat is blowing up. Y'all need to be sharing it. Y'all need to be telling the folk to get in here. I don't know why y'all not telling folk to get in here and listen to this woman of God speak these gems that is helping the body of Christ. Because the Bible says, beloved, worship of all things that you will prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers. The Lord is using her as a vessel. Listen, this next question, I know you're going to go deep, but before we go to this next question, media team, take us to a commercial. When we come back, we're going to unpack. And the question that I want you to get ready to answer, Sister Kalisha, is I need you now to connect that with my next question, which is the importance of my mental health and self-reflection. Oh my God. I can't wait for that one. We're going to a break. Don't y'all go nowhere. We'll be right back.
All right.
I got some people in this parking lot that say I'm a survivor. I survived hell. I survived loss. I survived brokenness. I survived a divorce. I survived all kind of stuff. I'm a survivor.
We are back. Look, did y'all see her cup? She got a Beyonce cup. You know how Beyonce got the gold microphone?
Everything's blingy.
Did y'all see her cup? She got a Beyonce cup. Oh my God. Jay Ben Ferrer, my man Jay, all the way from Dallas, Texas. Jay, what's up?
Hey, Jay.
And my Martin voice. Jay in the house. You know why Jay on here? Because he cool with Kavan and that's what. Okay, Jay, I get it. Nah, Jay, you know I'm messing, man. You know I love you, bro. Listen, this woman is on fire. She's dope. She's explosive. She's powerful. She's anointed. God is using her. Now we need you to now deal and unpack because everybody is waiting to hear. Let's talk about, because what does self-reflection do? Self-reflection gives me the opportunity, Sister Kalisha, to now self-reflect on my day, on what's going on what I'm going through. I put something on Instagram. I said, you need to check on your mental and emotional and make a true assessment of where you really are and be honest and say, I'm hurting, I'm going through, I'm frustrated, I'm mad. I always give myself a 1 to 10, or I ask my students, or I ask people that I'm coaching in my coaching business, right? I'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, what number are you? Are you a 5, a 7, a 8? That number, and I want you to give me an honest number, like because that's going to tell me where you are in your emotional intelligence, where you are with your social emotional. Like that tells me, and then we can start working backwards or frontwards to get you where you need to be. So tell us, woman of God, the importance of self-reflection in our mental health.
So self-reflection is something that you should do. I think what you said is totally on point, Bishop, in terms of it should be something that you're doing on a daily basis. You know, where am I? You should do a daily check-in. Where am I? How am I feeling? When you get up in the morning, how do I feel? Because you know whether or not you're going to have a good day, an okay day, you know, based on where you are in the moment, you know. So you have to do some self-reflecting every single day. You have to do those check-ins with yourself. Is extremely important to check in with yourself to figure out where you are and how you're moving. I found this quote that I want to say that I'm going to give you. A plane can't land until the coast is clear. Some of our blessings are stuck in the air because of our environment. There's too much mess on the landing strip. So that definitely resonated with me because it makes a whole lot of sense. There's too much mess. Sometimes we're so stuck in everything going on, right? There's so much stuff going on around us. Our environment is so cluttered with things that we don't even have room to accept anything else. Right? We can't do anything else. There's too much stuff. There's too much stuff in our head. There's too much stuff in our home. There's too much stuff in our cars. There's too much stuff in our family. There's too much stuff in our friends. There's too much stuff on the landing strip. There's too much mess. So your plane is never going to land if you have stuff everywhere.
Talk, woman of God.
For it to land, you got to clear some things out. You got to make sure that there's some room and some space, around you in order to make sure that plane is able to land. And so many times what happens is we're in survival mode. This last year, we've been in survival mode. Survival mode is you're not really focused on one particular thing. You're trying to survive. You're trying to put food on the table. You're trying to go to work. You're trying to make sure the kids are good. You're trying to make sure you're good. Everybody's together. Like you can't think about those things outside of just being here on a day-to-day basis, right? And so that's where we are. It's almost like I used to say, when I worked in a school environment, you want the parents to come into the school. The parents have to work. They can't come into the school because they have stuff, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to make sure that they can feed their kids. They can't take off of work and come into the school at the same time. It's not that they don't care. They're in survival mode. So their focus is on surviving, right? So that's where we've been in this last year. So a part of it is we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace, right? Because we made it through. We made it through, It may not be, it may not look like what we wanted it to look like, but we made it through. So thank God. We may have had all these 2020 resolutions because everybody makes their resolutions at the beginning of the year. Listen, throw them away, right? Throw them away. Thank God we made it. So that is the first and foremost thing because no one knew what was going to happen. No one knew.
I know that's right.
2020, what 2021 was going to look like. People's anxiety shot out the roof, people's fears and worries shot out the roof this year. So we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace and say, thank God we're here. We take small steps. We take a big goal. We break it down into small parts and we say, this is what we're going to work on. And that's it. And you give yourself the space and the grace to be able to do those things and you work through a piece at a time. You get grateful for the things that you have. I'm grateful for life and strength. I'm grateful for the ability to wake up and have a new day. And I'm going to move forward in what I had. You reflect on where you've been. What has this last year taught you? Who are your friends? Who do you value? You know, what is an important value in your life? What meant the most to you this year?
That's good.
You know, what were those things that you missed out on, or you felt like, if I could just do this again? What was important to you? Who did you spend time with this year? You know, who couldn't you spend time with? What impact did that have on you? I didn't realize that I was so much of like, we all have a need, right? To hug on people. That is a need for humans to interact in that way. Well, you don't think about it sometimes when you have it and it's readily available. You don't think about it. You don't think about the fact that, you know, when people invite you out and you just don't feel like going, you just don't go. Well, last year when I couldn't go, I was like, I ain't missing another, you know, another dinner. You know, that's not right. You know?
That pandemic, bro.
You needed that connection with people. You know, what about people who lost people last year? Those precious moments that you've had prior to losing them became that much more significant, where you started to place value on the fact that now when I call somebody, let me make sure I wrap up this phone call in such a way where if this is the last conversation I have with you, you know that I love you. You know that I care about you. You know what I mean? You know that I'm thinking about you, because I don't know whether or not I'll have another phone call with you. Like, those things are important. Think about who supported you during these times. You know, what was important? What did you hold near and dear to you? What changes occurred within you during this year? I didn't realize I had a little bit more anxiety than I thought I did. You know, when I had to go outside to the supermarket, you know, I found myself breathing a little bit quicker, like, you know, like, okay, wait a minute. Like, as I had to prepare just to even go out, you know, and I would tell my kids, like, I'm not going out here in these COVID streets for no, you know, and cookies. Y'all eat all these snacks up. That's it. You know?
Come on and tell it, woman of God. Tell it.
Where's your school snack and your school stomach at? You use those stomachs at home. So, you know, those were the things that I didn't readily think about before, but now going out and having to go out into this unknown, it was like, wait a minute, I felt a little bit more anxious about having to leave the house and being in these spaces that I felt were like unsafe spaces, you know. So you have to think about those things and think about what that did to you in this last year. You know, think about those behaviors that you've exhibited that maybe you didn't like, that you want to change. You know, what did you do differently this year that helped you or hurt you? You know, what are those things about yourself that you feel like you need to change? Also, think about the fact that if you constantly have chaos going on around you with your friends, with your family, sometimes the only common denominator in that is you.
Ooh.
So you may be the one entertaining and bringing the chaos, you know, and then just shifting the blame to other people.
Watch yourself now.
Those are things that you have to think about as you think about your relationships, as you think about how you interact with people. This is where all the self-reflecting comes in. You know, over the next few months, take some time to figure out, where am I? Who am I? You know, what is it that I value? What is it that I like? What is it that I love? You know, what do I want the world to say about me? What is my legacy going to be? Because that's important. We are creating legacies in life. So whether we don't know the day nor the hour. So whether you leave here today or whether you leave here in, 70 years from now, what will the world have to say about you and who you were? Because that is extremely important. And you have a chance to change that. You have a chance to say, I've messed up, but I'm going to do better, right? And I'm going to start with my better today. That's where that recommitting comes in. Committing to yourself to be a better you today than you were yesterday. I may not have done some things right 30 years ago. I may not have done some things right last month, but I can do things today to change those things. I can only strive to be a better me today because I want to leave a better legacy.
You're talking good tonight.
You know.
Listen. I just got to say this, ladies and gentlemen, she is on fire, explosive. Okay. I told y'all what was going to happen. I warned y'all ahead of time that once I put the question, it was over. It's over. So let's, because our time is winding down and the people want to hear from you. Okay. Talk about the anxiety, the pandemic. Okay. 365 days ago, we've taken 365 laps around the sun. Again, the water's opening back up. Again, some people have not made it. You know, I lost my mom. I just went to a funeral. My cousin, you know, may he sleep in peace. He died, unfortunately, in a motorcycle accident. My youngest daughter experienced, you know, some mental challenges over this past year, and we're working through that. I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, I'm a bishop in the large church, and yet I still got stuff that I'm dealing with. People need to know that you bleed red just like they bleed red. So my mental, trying to run a church, trying to navigate people through a church, through a pandemic, trying to still lead and shepherd the flock, but I got to maintain 6 feet social distance. Now the CDC says 3 foot social distance. Do I wear the mask? Do I not wear the mask? Do I get vaccinated? Do I not get vaccinated? What's going on in Israel and Palestine and people. So all this stuff going on, and me as a leader in the church. You talked about breathing. I'm learning now that when I feel anxiety or I feel the weight coming at me, because life comes sometimes explosive. Life's explode and problems are explosive. And people demand answers now. And people want to know what you gonna do, Bishop. You got the phone call there. We got everything back in the back, right? I'm learning how, and I don't got it yet, Sister Kalisha. Teach us. I need to learn how to step back. Teach us about this breathing and connecting that breathing to my mental and how that helps me to kind of step back, gather my thoughts, get my mental before I explode.
Yes.
God forbid I don't want to have no stroke or no heart attack.
No,
I'm not speaking it, or I'm not speaking. But these things happen to people when their body is overwhelmed with stress and it's not being distributed properly.
Absolutely.
Talk about it.
So what you're talking about is all very real, I think, is what, you know, and I appreciate the transparency because I think a lot of people don't share those parts of them, right? They don't share the heaviness, the burden that's there. And I think because you share that, it makes you real. It makes you human, right? It makes you be a person that people can connect with because people know that you experience a lot of these things that people deal with, even if not on the same level, but a lot of things that people are dealing with on a daily basis. You know, anxiety comes at you, you know, like a as fast as lightning. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you're just there and it just hits you, you know, and you're not even expecting to feel like that. And so you have to take a moment. You gotta stop and slow down and breathe. You have to stop and do your deep breaths. You got to take deep breaths in. You got to take deep breaths out. You got to be very intentional about your breathing method. It's not just like no, you got to breathe in, count to 10, breathe out, you know, let it out, count to 10, breathe back in. Like you got to slow down and you got to be able to do that, you know, at least 4 or 5 times to be able to kind of get yourself recenter and focus. You got to set a routine. Got to have a routine in place, you know, set out and map out your schedule. This is what I'm going to do. You could do block times. At this time, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to deal with at that time. This is what I'm going to deal with at that time. Ernesta said meditation music is amazing. Like taking times during the day, either in the morning or at night, to sit down and listen to, you know, some music where you could just meditate, you know, is amazing. Like, but it's something to kind of bring you down because we stay up here so much during the day. We really have to have a nighttime routine where we're brought down. It's almost like when you were a baby, you know, your parents had a routine in place. So you get your bottle at a certain time, you get your bath, you get changed, you're ready for bed. It's setting that same type of routine in place for you as an adult. You know, how do I manage at night? What do I have in place for me? And not deviating, not being on your phone all times of the night. You know, putting the phone down, turning the TV off, and really taking the time to settle down, getting off the phone, turning it on do not disturb. You know, that is
to the bishop.
You know, turn it on do not disturb and decide that I am not going to answer. I would always say your emergency is not my priority. You know, it can't be. You got to take the time for you. Because if you're not right, it's again like the people on the airplane. I can't help anybody else if I don't first have my own, you know, if I don't have my equipment on my face first, I can't help anybody else. I have to have my stuff on first. That's why they say put your mask on first. If it comes down, then you help somebody else. So it's making sure that you are in a space where you're healthy, you know, getting into a consistent routine, getting into some sort of relaxation techniques and winding yourself down at night. Even if it's during the middle of the day, taking some time and saying, okay, I know I'm going into, you know, from 2 to 5 is like a hectic time for me. So I'm going to take 1 to 1:30 and I'm going to meditate and I'm going to relax, like making sure that you block out some time and some space for you to get yourself centered so that you can then prepare to deal with whatever else is going to come your way. But you have to have that routine. You got to find somebody that you can talk to, you know, that can help you work through that, be it a therapist, be it someone, you know, that's close to you that can kind of help and remind you, get you an accountability partner. Bishop, did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you schedule your massage this month? You know, did you do your exercise? What do you, because I know you said you like your massages. So
yes, sir.
Did you do your exercise? Like making sure that somebody's there to remind you about what you're doing to take care of you, because you can't take care of everybody else if you're not taking care of you, you know, and recognizing when you aren't feeling well. When my mother passed, it was the same thing. I had a group of friends, but I wasn't strong enough to pray for myself. I got on the text. I can't do it today. I need help. And they would, and the you know, music and the YouTube and the scriptures and sermons would just come flying through the, you know, through the phone, because they were making sure that they held me up when I wasn't strong enough to hold myself up, you know? And so that was what I needed. But in order for me to get that, I had to open my mouth, because I know they're there, but I have to say, I need help. And don't be afraid to say you need help. It doesn't make you weak to say, I need help. We all need help. We all do. It makes you stronger because you recognize I can't drive myself into the ground trying to be Superwoman or Superman and doing everything. I have 2 arms. I don't have 10. So I can only do what is well within my capacity to do. And if it's not in my capacity, I just can't do it. And it has to be okay. If it doesn't get done today, then it just doesn't get done today. And that has to be all right. You know, but you can't, you know, burden yourself with extra and extra. You know, I tell my husband that. I'm like, you're doing another thing that, no, you're not. You know, you can't do it. Tell them no. You want me to tell them? I'll tell them, you know what I mean? Like, because the more you put yourself out there, the more you make yourself available, people don't see you being tired. People don't see you being, you know, you're aching. People don't see any of that. They will keep saying, come on, sure, we need you. They'll be all right. What were they doing before you?
Come on now, talk.
You know, what were they doing before you? You can't enable people either, because sometimes they have the strength to be able to do it themselves, but they know you'll do it, so they won't ever try it. No, we got to empower folk. You can do this. You can get it done. The Bible says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Are you using your power? Come on. Don't just sit there, because if you don't, people are so used to having other people do it for them, they won't even try. No.
That's good. That's good.
They won't even try. So if I know Bishop is going to do it, I can call on Bishop. No. What about you? You have 2 feet and 2 arms and 2 hands. Try it yourself. Try Jesus. Don't try him. Like, don't.
You said, don't try me. Try Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. We only got 3 minutes. I wish we could go until 9 o'clock tonight, and I guarantee you, all of y'all will still stay on, because y'all know this woman is speaking truth to power. When I tell y'all the Lord has blessed us to have some phenomenal people in our ministry, and I am a big proponent of using, as the Lord, gives me the downloads, the gifts that's in the house. The Bible said to stir up the gifts that's given to you by the laying of the hand of the presbytery. And I just thank God for the gifts that we have in the house. I thank God that the Lord allowed me to tap your shoulder and stir up this gift that's in you that was lying dormant. So you can speak to the world. And encourage the world and give us tips and tricks for how to live a life of victory and purpose, but also to take care of our mental health. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, this woman was dope. We all sat there and were mesmerized by your wisdom. We were mesmerized by your knowledge. We were mesmerized by your expertise in the industry, how you also brought scripture. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I need y'all to blow this group chat up and say, Sister Kalisha, you were dope on tonight. Tonight, you were dope. You were phenomenal. You were awesome. You were powerful. Again, I wish that we had more time, but guess what? There's going to be another time, and we're going to get you back on this podcast, and we're going to continue this discussion on mental health. Ladies and gentlemen, we also want to say too that we are proud now. We're official partner of the Food Bank of Delaware. Yay! NCCF is now an official partner of the Food Bank of Delaware. We had to go through hoops, and the whole outreach team behind the scene knows what we had to go through in order to get their stamp approval and check the boxes. But now New Covenant Christian Fellowship is now a bona fide partner of the Food Bank of Delaware. Thank you, Jesus. And we are excited about that victory, that now we will be able to feed people in the pandemic and now have more resources to feed people. All you got to do is call the church. They're going to put the information on the screen. Call the church. Go to the website. Put it in the chat. If you need food, if you know somebody needs food, if you know somebody, listen, y'all, we're feeding people. And now, again, we are excited about our partnership with the Food Bank of Delaware. Again, Sister Kalisha, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were phenomenal. You hear me? You were phenomenal. You just picked up when you left off in November. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to work on some things behind the scenes. As far as in the area of mental health, Bishop, you did a good. Thank you. All the people coming in. Thank you. Listen, all praises to God. But we thank God for this woman of God. Again, thank God for our media team. Thank God for our church. Thank God for my wife. We love everybody. Our leadership team, they know who they are. And we're just excited about ministry. So we're going to make a hard stop. Sister Kalisha, you got 30 seconds. Give the people something before we get out of here.
Yes, 30 seconds. So just remember that you are powerful beyond measure. Remember that you are fearless. Remember that you are resilient. Remember to stay prayerful, stay hopeful, stay resilient, stay prayed up, and stay blessed.
Y'all have the wonderful, phenomenal, mighty woman of God, Sister Kalisha Turman, the wife of, we all know him, Kevon Turman. We say Sister Kalisha, and we say Kevon Turman. He gonna get me, but it's all right because I got the mic tonight. But anyway, listen, we love y'all. Church, in person, for those that still want to come in person, 294 Churchman's Road, Newcastle, Delaware, 19720. And don't forget, Praise in the Parking Lot, the first Sunday in June. We're ready to go, Sister Kalisha. Yes. Praise in the Parking Lot, y'all. Don't y'all forget, we're gonna be back outside. Pray, man. Listen, I am so excited. I can't wait to see y'all who didn't feel comfortable coming back. That's all right. But you can pull that car up the first Sunday in June. We're back. Yes. Praise in the parking lot. On behalf again of myself and the wonderful Pastor Prophetess Donna Taylor and the illustrious Sister Kalisha Turman, who is here on tonight dropping gems, and the whole NCCF team, we're out of here. We'll see y'all Sunday. We love y'all. God bless. Have a good night. And may Jesus continue to smile his face upon you. Love y'all. Peace.
Do I got some people in this parking lot that say I'm a survivor? I survived hell. I survived loss. I survived brokenness. I survived a divorce. I survived all kind of stuff. I'm a survivor.